You're all welcome. All right, so I'll just quickly go through the event agenda, introduction, and then we have about BYP network. Then we'll get into full discussion. So about BYP, some of us might be wondering what BYP network is about. We are a Black young professional networking platform, which was founded by the need to connect Black professionals and students from all over the world for role model visibility, career opportunities, business support, ultimately to solve our own problems. And our vision is to change the Black narrative. And our mission is definitely to advance the careers of Black professionals enabled by our career advancement platform. Get to connect with other chapters from different locations. We have the BYP Leeds, we have BYP London, BYP Manchester. We have all these chapters in order to have connections with our Black professionals in each location and to ensure that Black professionals have a community where they can share their views, their voices are being heard, as well as content curated to advance their careers. This is our founder. Her name is Kike Oniwide Agoro, and she is the founder and CEO of BYP Network, a multi-million-pound company advancing the careers of Black professionals globally. Thanks to Kike Oniwide Agoro, we have such a platform like this to connect, get to learn, and also have a community of Black professionals. All right, so this is our BYP Coventry Chapter lead, and his name is John. John, would you like to introduce yourself?
All right, thank you so much, Ayo, for the great work. And just a little bit about me. Absolutely, I'm a Nigerian for me to be able to join the BYP network. And I'm also patriotically African, always looking for how to support or to do better things for the African community. I also started a community interest company which is centered around Africans in diaspora, which the idea is to look at supporting the Africans in diaspora, not the career aspects, not AI, but looking more about the welfare, well-being, both emotional, social, psychological, and those areas. A young professional adult or mentor and coach. I'll not just say young adult mentor, but more of a young professional that looks for how to do a lot of things in that area. And I've been in the UK for about 5 years plus. So that's just a little bit about me. It's not about me, but it's about the impact that everyone will. I'm just the servant that is here to just support everyone. Anywhere you need me, I'll be there to give the support. And thank you so much once again.
Well done, John. Thank you so much for that introduction.
You're welcome.
Here we have our speaker, our first speaker, Lola Akinbohun. She is an HR project manager. Lola, would you like to unmute yourself and tell us about yourself?
Yeah, hi everyone. Trying to okay, Hi everyone, my name is Lola and I'm an HR project manager. I call myself the tech HR girl. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yes, we can.
Perfect. I'm a certified HR professional in Nigeria and the UK. So I'm African, yes, I'm African. And I currently have founded a tribe. I would call it a tribe and a community for young professionals where I create content to support and to and events. I also create events to support young professionals, gender-based, gender-neutral events. So yeah, I'm happy to have this conversation with you today.
Thank you, Lola. All right, on to the next, Dr. Nana Adom, Global Student Recruitment Strategist. I'd like to know more about you, Dr. Adom. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you very much, and a very good evening, everyone. Pleasure to be part of tonight's session. Thank you as well for joining us. Like John, I'm probably African. I'm probably African. as John said, and then originally from Ghana. I currently am with Anglia Ruskin University. I oversee recruitment and partnerships for Anglia Ruskin. Before then, I've had the privilege of working with Sunderland, with QA, QA Business School, and a few other institutions, higher education institutions. With my remit being international student recruitment and partnerships. Tonight, this evening's topic of discussion is very dear to my heart because I think is where we're headed towards. It's the future, and therefore it's very important that as Black young professionals we are able to put heads together and then discuss career resilience. So thank you very much. Pleasure, and thank you once again for the opportunity, and thank you, our wonderful host for tonight. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Adom. So without further ado, we'll just dive into the discussion for today, which is career resilience, adapting and thriving in the evolving UK workspace. And I'll leave the floor for the BYP Coventry Chapter lead to take over from here.
Well, thank you so much, Ayo, for that, and thank you for everyone that has joined. Thank you to the speakers, Dr. Nana and Lola. So we'll just be going straight to the events for today, and the first on the list is, I will be starting with you, Lola. What do you understand by career resilience, and why is it important in our today's living?
Hi everyone.
Hello.
Yeah. So I'm sure we all know what resilience is, and then resilience is adaptability to changes. When the changes and you're able to adapt to different kind of changes. Now bringing that to your career. The simply means that when there are changes in your career, to the job market, or your role, how are you able to, adapt? How are you flexible enough to adapt to these changes, to bring success or to bring about the progress that your role or your job requires? Sorry, I'm a little bit out of breath at the moment, but just so that everybody knows that when I talk, I don't like to talk to myself. I like to get, engagement, a bit of engagement. I'm sure John knows this. So,
Okay. Yes, sorry to cut you. Sorry to cut you, Lola, in that way. We're just getting to it. There'll still be time for questions and answers.
I'm not asking anyone to ask.
Okay. Okay.
So, but I would like to know the dynamics that we have, in the group. So, I just want to know how many people on this call would like to get promoted. If you could just do it with a raise of a hand. If you know that you're on the call and you know that, you would love to be promoted. You're currently in a position where you say, I need to be promoted. I can't see any hands raised. How do I see that? Maybe nobody wants to get promoted on the call. However, how many people are in between transitioning from one role to another? Are you in a role and you're looking forward to, transitioning into another role entirely? Oh, thanks, I see the thumbs up. Thanks for that. You see, you are currently maybe in medicine or medical field and you're trying to go into tech, or you're in tech, field and all of that. Okay, great. So how many people have just graduated and trying to get into a new role? Trying to just get into the job market. Do we have anybody like that on call? No. Okay. Fantastic. So I know that people are trying to transition to a new role. That's the majority of people that we have on the call. So what is the essence of career resilience? Why do you need that flexibility to be able to adapt to these changes? I'll give you a statistic that I'd written down some months ago while I was doing my research, and it was from the West Forum. Kind of we heard about the West World Economic Forum. So it says something about the future of jobs. By 2030, the future of jobs report states that 41% of jobs will be replaced by AI. 92 million jobs are expected to be displaced. 170 million jobs will be created, and 1 billion and 90 million jobs will continue to evolve. It shows that change is accelerating. We are at a point in the world where change is accelerating, and it's going really fast. Everything is happening really fast now. Your role in 2 years your current understanding of your role in 2 years or the kind of tools that you use currently might not be required in 2 years. It should have evolved. And you can see that in the introduction of AI. AI is not even starting. It didn't come small. It came with a bang, and it keeps getting improved. So we as professionals, whether you're transitioning, you're looking for a promotion, you're trying to enter the job market, you need to build resilience. You need to be flexible enough to adapt to changes. You need to be ready for the big changes that are coming in your role or outside your role, in the job market, and whatever country that you find yourself. So yes, that's all I have to say. That is the major importance of career resilience. The change is coming. You need to be ready. So you need to build that resilience, that adaptability to be able to welcome the change so that you're not swept out of the market. You're not one of the billions or the statistics that is swept out or become employed in the next couple of years. So I hope that answers the question.
Wow, thank you so much for that. And one or two points I picked from that is one, change is constant. And the earlier we get to know and to adapt to that change, because the change is going in a geometric proportion, not even in a straight proportion, the better. And the earlier we get to be flexible, even with this thing, because 5 or 10 years ago, the change we experience is different from what we have now. And in some couple of years, it will keep it. So that is us. Thank you so much for that. And I hope we are with our notes and our pens, please, in case you have not gotten them, we could still get that because I'm already jotting also. Just a quick one for you, a taster section for you, Lola. From the comment section, someone drops currently doing my master's but no job. Any links to help with survival or any links for being career resilient by Oyedamola? So that's your first question.
Hi, Damola. I think that's a very typical question that we hear from people that come to come and take their master's in the UK or wherever you're doing that. But I think the first question would be, what field are you doing your master's? If you can leave that in the comment section, I think the comment is quite open here and I can see it. You need to understand the industry that you're going into or that you have gone into or that you're trying to go into. And that could depend on the course that you're currently taking. So how would you build resilience? You need to start, before you complete your master's, you need to start being aware of tools or systems that are being used in your area of study. You need to start attending events. You need to join the community. I cannot overemphasize the importance of networking. Oh, perfect. I actually attended the University of Derby, so that is perfect. And I think that you're also in a city where there are lots of manufacturing and mechanical engineering companies. How many of their events have you attended since you started your studies? I know that we have Alstom there, we have a couple of engineering companies in Derby. How many of the events have you attended so far? So you need to ask yourself those questions. How am I trying to adapt to changes? What are the, if you even read about, the changes within the industry that you're going to, what tools are they currently using, especially in the UK? Have you done those researches? It's one thing to apply to jobs. It's another thing to be ready for, whatever change or um whatever systems or whatever progress that is happening with that industry. And the funny thing is that during the interviews, I'm sure that Dr. Nana can attest to this. During interviews, they want to know that you have this understanding. They want to know that you've done your thorough research. They want to see that you believe in yourself so much that you think that you are credible for this role. So you're actually doing your master's in University of Derby in mechanical engineering. I can tell you 5 links now to go and to apply for the job, or 5 different ways to find job openings. But what are you doing as a person to even get into that door? Have you updated your CV? Have you done research, personal researches? Have you joined the community? Have you looked at the companies that interest you? If they have events that you can actually attend, these are places where you can actually network. I cannot, like I said, over or underemphasize the importance of the community, having a tribe, being a part of the community, just like this one. Go online. There are people that are mechanical, have a tribe. There are other mechanical engineers that are immigrants that are already doing so great. So you need to, be intentional about your survival. And nobody will give you, I said that you know what to do, but nobody will give you hands down on how to move forward. You can only tell you, okay, remind you of the things to do. So, and that's what I'm doing now. So I hope that actually answers your question. But I'm sure in the course of all of the questions, you'll be able to pick 1 or 2 things that would help you, build career resilience.
Well, thank you so much for those awesome nuggets. And just to add a little bit to it, even in schools, there are so many um, options, or there are so many things available. You could speak to your department, you could speak to the career services. There are so many things which we need to also go for internships. Sometimes we're always looking for the money. Yes, we need to survive, but at the same time, how are we adding values to ourselves in those kind of situations? How are we using the support we can get from the school? Because we've paid for some of those things, and if we don't use it, the services are there and they are there for us to make use of. So get to the University of Derby School and ask them, walk to the career, walk to your department, what services are available. And we'll be surprised that there are so many opportunities that they send to the schools, to the department. But if we don't ask, we will not be aware of. Thank you so much for that. And to you, welcome back, Dr. Nana. Back to
Thank
the
you.
question, what does career resilience mean to you, and why is it important in today's world?
Thank you so much. And apologies. So I'll add on to the submission by Lola and then by John. With regards to the colleague that asked a question, just want to add on briefly. So for instance, using myself as a case study, my background is accounting, finance. So I was into SEMA, ACCA, had nothing to do with my career.
Wow, it's going again.
But then via networking, I got into this role. So one time I went for myself as an example. My background was accounting, finance, but then via the power of networking, once I went for I networked with a group of students. Then I was with a different institution, and then I realized that I had skills that were easily applicable in this role, right? So there were skills that I realized I'm very, I'm a go-to person, very likable, very, that's my nature. And then I realized that in this current role, the ability to network, the ability to talk, the ability to influence was what was required. So then I began searching around for potential opportunities within this role. And long story short, that's how I ended up in this role. So it was via the power of networking. So I would suggest, as Lola has said and John has said, please network. There are several network groups on campus. Do make sure you're part of it. The careers guidance, the career services, make sure you're part of it. When they are fairs on campus, when they are fairs on campus, again, make sure you are heavily involved. Because sometimes all it takes is just a word or just an introduction, right? And then you realize that, oh, actually, I've got the skills that they're looking for. So yeah, that would be my suggestion in regards. Now to the earlier question, which is career resilience, and as Lola brilliantly summed it up, is the ability, as Lola said, the adaptability, the ability to adapt. I would add on the ability to also evolve and thrive, right? So adapt, evolve, and thrive. That's how I would define career resilience. So, like myself, originally I was into accounting and finance, but then there was a need which required my skill, right? And therefore I was able to shift, adapt, shift away from that, evolve into something else. And now I'm thriving in what I'm doing. So, I'll add on by saying is the ability to adapt, evolve, and thrive. Now, is
All right, thank you so much for that. So, while we're waiting for that, to the next question, which will be directed to you, Lola. How can professionals build career resilience in today's evolving job market?
So sorry, I was already yapping now. Sorry. So I'll say that from research and from personal experience, what I have learned is, secret to career resilience is owning your career. And what does that mean? Your career is not for the company that you're moving into. It's not for your parents. Whatever you intend to do with your life as in your career, it should not depend on anybody. It should be your own. So you own your career. So how can you build career? Well, that's the question. Mine.
Yes, how can you how can professionals build career resilience?
You have to be flexible. You have to be flexible and be open-minded to the changes that are coming. I would use, let's talk about the recent roles that have come to, that are making wave right now in the job market. You're hearing project manager, data analyst, business analyst, cyber security, and all of these technical roles. Did you notice that, or have you noticed that, say 10, 15 years ago, the major roles that were actually making waves were doctor, lawyer, accountant, and all of these things. But life has changed so fast that new roles are popping up. And if you take a very good look at it, a lot of them are technical. And this does not in any way, trivialize, being a doctor or reduces the need for a lawyer or the need for an engineer. But you see that a lot of tools, a lot of roles are coming up. And so you need to prepare your mind, you need to prepare yourself for this change. So you have to be flexible. And in flexibility, I'm talking, you need to learn new skills. You need to learn new tools, use of new tools. It doesn't really even have to be within your job role. Sometimes, some people don't even use Excel in their role. But the knowledge of Excel can prepare you for your next role. So you need to, have an understanding of where you're at and where follow the trend. And I'm not saying this in the slightest follow way. I'm not saying that lose track of your ambition. I'm saying that in your ambition, you know what you want to become. You know the promotion that you're trying to attain. You know the seniority level of the role that you're currently in. You need to be flexible and be able to adapt to these changes. You need to learn new skills. You need to be credible on your role, because if you don't do this, you will be swept under the carpet in a couple of years. And you need to, and we still go back to the responses that I gave before. You need to network. You need to know how to communicate. You know, you're in a team, or you're in a meeting, or you're in an event like this, and then we're asking, oh, who's currently looking for a new job, or who is trying to transition? And it's just one person that responded. If I had a job, you know, in the area that BB wanted to go in, I could have been an employer and said, oh yeah, fantastic, this is the only person that spoke. You know, you need to be vocal, you need to communicate. Don't be that person that joins an organization or joins a role and your boss cannot even remember that you were hired. A lot of us Africans actually come from a world where, you know, we were brought up to keep quiet. You know, any small, any little time spent on talking about yourself is called pride. But I've come to a point where I've realized that it is just you belittling or shutting yourself off and using your opportunity to greatness, or to great opportunities. If that's something, we're giving your opportunity to great opportunities. So you need to speak up in meetings. It's not just about going to events and dressing up and listening. How many people did you speak with? You know, how many people have you tried to engage with? And I mean engage with on a very intellectual, you know, level. They're not asking, oh, so where do you stay? And no, that's not what we're talking about. That's not what we mean by networking. And that's not the kind of, you know, that's not the kind of communication that we expect you to take when you're trying to be rebellious, when you're trying to take your career, you know, be resilient in your career. You're trying to get ready for the changes that are coming. We don't expect you to ask, you know, very shallow questions. And if you've noticed, another point is accepting feedback, and to even put yourself in a position where you accept feedback, you have to have a mentor. So how many of us even have mentors that we can go back to, you know, with our current, you know, problems on our job, that can give us feedback and say, okay, this, that, this, and they were able to work on it to help us, you know, grow in our career. That's something that a lot of us, you know, Africans do not take very, we don't see the importance in it. So you go to an event, the speakers, you say you have like 5 speakers. How many of the speakers did you engage with from an intellectual, you know, level? That's one question that, you know, I would ask anybody on this call. So you need to be intentional about the people that you meet. You need to be intentional about the skills that you learn. You need to be intentional about the trends in your industry. You need to also be intentional about owning your career. This is, I'm an HR. Am I just going to be a generalist? Do I want to specialize? Okay, even if I want to specialize into, say, recruitment, what are the trends in recruitment that I need to understand, that I need to flow with? Because I need to know that in 2 years, recruitment is not going to be just calling. AI is taking over. What are the tools? How do I need to understand how AI will help me, you know, develop my recruitment skills? Because what you don't know is in the interview, you know, these are the questions, these are the kind of responses. If you know if you own your job, if you own your career, when questions are being asked, you tend to respond in this understanding because you have read, you know the trends in that industry, and you're able to respond. And then who is that senior recruiter that I know that when I ask them questions, you know, to ask them questions, how can they mentor me to be better on my role? So these are some of the skills that I would say that, you know, as someone that is pushing in, you know, trying to get higher, grow in your role, you know, these are some of the skills that I would advise that you develop. And if you want me to list that again, I'm happy to. So there's flexibility, there's adaptability, you know, there's communication, networking, and there's owning your career and having a mentor. Thank you,
Thank you so much.
John.
And if we leave Lola, she could continue on and on and on.
Very
Wow.
passionate.
Yeah, I can see the passion there. Thank you so much. I've learned about the adaptability. You should be adaptable, you should be flexible. And one key you said, which I'm also a preacher of, is a lot of us go to networking events, or a lot of us, if we are to open our phones, we have so many contacts, but how many of those contacts are really networks? There's a difference between contacts and networks. On our social media, you'll see 1,000 contacts, but how many of those contacts are networks? Food for thought. So in the place of networking, this is another place. How are we utilizing this in the better way to our betterment and things like that? How are we changing to the flexible role? How are we making use of the influence of these technical tools to our betterment and things like that? Thank you. So going to the next question, what are the most important skills professionals should focus on to thrive in today's job market? Which you have shared some of it, but we just want you to elaborate a bit more.
Thank you for that question. You're right, I've said some of that, and those are soft skills, communication, adaptability, flexibility, and I'm sure that everybody, we've heard those more than 100 times in our lifetime, in our career. So the communication, adaptability, you know what adaptability means, you know, how do you, how do you process things? How do you change for your success? How does change propel you or propel your career instead of drawing you back? There's flexibility. How flexible are you? So if they tell you now that as a teacher, okay, from in 6 months' time, we want you to not use the blackboard anymore. You now have to use, computers to teach the students. How flexible are you to learn, to be able to, how flexible are you to learn new skills, to be able to adapt to your role, to the change that happens coming to your role. There's communication. How do you communicate with your team? How do you share your knowledge? How do you share your thoughts? It's not just about knowing it. Are you vocal? Your team members know that you're used to doing the thing. If the world is too big to just be on your role and just focusing on your role, and just say, oh, they told me what to do. I'm just going to focus on my job. I don't want to make friends. Nobody's saying that you should make friends. They're saying that you communicate enough, to a point where when there's an opportunity for a leadership role in that job, that someone can vouch for you. Are you being visible? You have to be visible. You need to use your voice. Please, I'm going to emphasize again. Please, Africans, please I myself, it took me a while to bring that in my head. Do not be quiet. Please, at work, demand what you deserve. Demand fairness. You have to speak up. If you don't speak up, nobody will know that you deserve it. Nobody will know that you deserve it. But sometimes when we get to this work, especially when they are white dominated, we feel like, oh, I need to keep quiet so nobody badmouths me or nobody, kicks me out of my role. But we know too much to be quiet. So you need to use your voice to communicate, and you need to show some leadership skills. A lot of us have developed these leadership skills from communities that we joined, from associations that we joined, from universities, from different places that we joined. And if you know that you have never used to run away from, associations or leadership or all of these things, please, it's not too late. I thought there are openings in BYP where you can volunteer to, lead a team or do something. You need to learn the art of leadership. The thing is, these things are very transferable. If you lead somewhere in a small team in BYP, you can lead any team on any organization. And the funny thing is, leadership does not mean that you are an expert. So if you look at some of our organizations, you realize that your team lead does not know everything. But they have this leadership skill, and it is seen, it is usually very visible. Once you have that skill, people just see that, oh, this person is able to influence people, is able to make things go forward. So you need to, join a community or an association and build on your leadership skill. And these are just soft skills. They are very important. But then I will also go back to the research that I said that I made a couple of months ago on the World Economic Forum, and it was about, the future of jobs in the world, and that's not in any country in particular, in the world. There are a couple of jobs that they said will come, and, some of the skills that will be needed. So you need to have AI and big data skills. And this is from the West report. You have to have AI and understand how to use data, how to report. You have to understand how to use AI. Don't feel guilty that you are using AI for your role. Don't feel like it's going to take your job. Don't be part of the school people that have school of thought that, oh, AI will come and strip you of your role. No, AI is supposed to assist you to achieve what you want to achieve on that job. AI is supposed to help you, do the busy work, the little work. So make sure that you take advantage of AI. So you need to know how to use AI. And I'm talking to Oyindamola, that is in engineering. AI is going to help you, even up until a cleaner tomorrow. At some point, you need AI to be able to, generate feedback, to push your critical thinking. So there's creative thinking, there's resilience, there's flexibility, there's agility, there's curiosity, there's lifelong learning, there's leadership. All of these are some of the skills that the World Economic Forum has highlighted that will be needed by 2030. So if you don't want to be one of the 92 million jobs that will be displaced, you need to get this new skill, add it to your current role to help you, propel you into your next role, propel you into the change that is coming on your role. So I hope that really just answers that question. And
Thank you so much. Thank you. You've said a lot within this period. You've talked about the hard skills and the soft skills. The hard skills, most of the time, will get you to the job. But most of the time, the soft skills are the things that will keep you in the job. You could know all those things, but if you get there and you're not good in communication, you're not good with resilience, you're not good, at the end of the day, it will tell on you. The hard skills will get you into the job. You are good in the tech, but at the end of the day, what I've discovered is those soft skills are the things that will maintain you. Thank you so much for that. Welcome back, Dr. Nana.
Thank you. Thank you. I hope it's much better now, finally.
Absolutely, finally. And this is also talking about career resilience because you were
Exactly.
resilient. You didn't allow all these things to weigh you down. You were still resilient. And I'm good this thing came up because how are we talking about resilience if we can't face all these things? Thank you so much.
Correct.
Okay,
Correct.
so where do you want to start with the short
Um,
time? We'll
yes.
have
So,
to squeeze you to
sure.
answer some of those questions.
Sure. So I was painting the analogy of the crab, and we all know crabs, right? So crabs, they undergo a very important life activity called molting, MOLT. You can Google, you can check it out, and it's a very important activity for them. Every crab at a point in their lifestyle, and the process of molting is when they come out of their old shell and then a new one comes out. Now, if a crab fails to do that, two things would happen. They will fail to grow. Their digestive capacity will not grow, and therefore they will die. So it's very, very crucial. It's a slightly painful process for them, but it's crucial for their growth. So simply put, without molting, a crab does not grow. And I think for me, I equate the act of career resilience as similar to molting, where if you don't grow, if you don't expand, if you don't evolve, if you don't adapt, right, and as well, then with time, you find yourself choked, within your career. And I think Lola and John just mentioned, you got the hard skills, you got the soft skills, and them two are very important in any career choice that you find yourself. Or it could even be that you are in a present career choice and you're looking to translate into something else. You need them two skills. Lola did mention she talked about AI, right? So AI is an area that you can look into. There are several opportunities with AI. Because Lola did good justice with AI, I wouldn't want to hammer so much on, but I would also want to add on, in addition to AI, another area too that is very, very, very much has so much potential is the green jobs and sustainability. Climate change is a big, big, big thing now, right? And there are several opportunities out there within the energy carbon management space that is, and according to a UN report, is that space is anticipated. I mean, we all know that what do you call it? Green energy is a big, big, big thing now. Climate change is a topical subject for countries, for nations, for the United Nations as well. So in terms of hard skills, that's also another area that one can focus on. We've got the tech revolution. I think Lola did mention the gig economy, right? So, and that is anticipated to even grow further and further. Now, let me also briefly touch on the soft skills. I think I use myself earlier on as an example. One of the things that has really helped me in my career has been the soft skills, the ability to network, the ability to, for honing my soft skills. And that has in particular really played a crucial role for my career. So last 2 years, I had a very unusual encounter, which I'm very proud of. No, last 3 years. So the former vice president of our dear country, Nigeria, Atiku Abubakar, long story short, so a colleague, a member of his office reached out, and I thought, this cannot be true, so anyway, the colleague that reached out was as a result of me meeting that colleague, but who was in his office, actually his personal secretary. We met at an event, and through soft skills, right? It was through soft skills, reached out, we network, we built on the network, and then the rest was next. There was a need for the former vice president. He had sought to, during the COVID time, he had sought to pursue. But yeah, as we all know, one of the things that was used against him was not having formal qualifications. So he reached out to his PA and said, you know what, I want to use the COVID season to go and pursue an academic career. And then guess what? By virtue of the soft skills that I had developed, that I had pushed with his PA, straight away, John talked about, having phone networks on your phone and all of that. Guess what? Because of the impact and the imprint that I left in his mind, straight away, he picked up his phone, called me and said, Dr. Nana, you know what? The former vice president wanted to pursue a master's, and then the rest is history. He came, did his master's, the rest is history. But I guess my point is, it was that was able to happen. The seed of that was as a result of the soft skills that I had been intentional about, networking, relationship, capacity building. I've been very intentional about. Met him at an informal meeting, and the rest is history. So them two are very important: hard skills, soft skills, and as well look out for the areas we've mentioned: AI, gig economy, climate change, environment, sustainability, green energy, and all of those. Thank you, John.
Yeah, thank you so much. And to add to what both of you said about soft skill and hard skills, networking is key. And sometimes we are always looking at meeting the big people in an event, whether it's the big person or it's the cleaner or the driver. Everyone has his own impact in playing. You said you met the PA. Over time, most people will be going after the big people in the race, but sometimes people that might catapult you might not even be people of influence. It
Exactly.
might be people that we underestimate or we
Underestimate and look down
look
upon.
down on, that how will I relate with the peer when I can as well go and meet it. So sometimes when we are networking, we should be open-minded that we don't know who we can meet when we get at that point in time. Okay, one more question for you, and I would be back with Lola.
Sure.
It's saying, okay, just a second. What do you have to say about how is technology and AI influencing career opportunities, and what should professionals do to prepare for that?
Sure. Thank you very much, John. I think, Oyindamula, if you can mute yourself, please. Please. Is it possible? Yeah, I think. Is it okay? Yeah, all right. Okay. So now back to the question. What does AI and technology, how is it influencing career choice? I think most recently, I'll use MySpace as an example. Up until 2-3 years ago, what we had was we had human beings man the inquiry desk, right? So we had like 20 colleagues who were working at the admissions inquiry desk. So if a student calls, there's an email. But I noticed that about 2 years ago, about a year and a half ago, we had to lay a number of them off. Why? Because AI chatbox is doing their job. Right now, what AI chatbox does is it filters through. So if you come through, chances that if you type a question, AI chatbox will respond. And therefore, it meant that out of the 20, we only retained about 5. And even the 5 that we retained were those that we felt they had additional skills that the team could benefit from. And the other 15, we just had to let them go because they were pretty much, it was just, inquiries, and there wasn't much addition to their skills. So I think what AI has come to, then I think all of us here, in one way or the other, do attest to the fact that the influence of AI and technology is growing at a pace that is unprecedented. Think about it. Even for ChatGPT, I mean, 10 years ago we never had ChatGPT, right? 5 years ago we never had ChatGPT. You go on ChatGPT, you ask ChatGPT a question, and I mean, we've all had experiences. You'll be shocked as to the response, the detailed response is going to give you, which therefore means that, and it's anticipated that AI and technology is going to be a main driver of careers, jobs, everywhere. So for us, I think one of the things we can do to position ourselves very well into this new age, this new dispensation, is to make sure that you are current with some basic AI technological tools like Microsoft, the Microsoft package, Excel. I mean, basically like Excel, regardless of the career you find yourself in, you need to be able to be a bit abreast with Excel, because somewhere somehow your job, you might want somewhere somehow you need to put together a report, an expenditure report. Somewhere somehow it might not be detailed, but you need to know the basics, right? Likewise, Microsoft Word, PowerPoint. Now, PowerPoint, somewhere somehow, especially in our age now, almost every career, almost every managerial career requires you presenting at some point. In fact, even preachers now do now stick to PowerPoint during their sermon. So it's become that's the speed with which our world is growing. And therefore, for myself, I mean, my suggestion would be that the basic is to make sure that you are abreast with the basic IT tools, such as, if you're not familiar, I mean, if your presentation is a bit weak, it'll be good to go and there are several free courses on Microsoft, the Microsoft package, Word, Excel, PowerPoint. Those are basics, because those them tools would become very handy at a point during your career. And obviously, when it comes to a situation where they are looking to, if AI becomes the order of the day, they are looking to make some staff redundant, they'll be looking at staff with extra skills that will be beneficial to the team, be beneficial to the company. So AI, in a nutshell, AI is driving, AI is influencing careers at a fast, unprecedented pace. However, the key is to position yourself so you position yourself very well by making sure that you've got the basics. You are very much abreast with the basics. An example is the AI tools for colleagues that are into project management. They need to be to, again, update yourself with the latest project management tools. Our colleagues are into programming basics like Python. Business analyst colleagues will be into, again, add on, broaden your skills by adding on basics like Python, because then it makes you more marketable and more valuable to your organization or the company that you find yourself working in.
Well, thank you so much. One key note from the whole lots which you have said, which I'm also keen into, is value. Because if you are not valuable, AI will take, unfortunately, it's a start, it will take the opportunities away. But the people that are of value, AI is a tool to support. But if not, it will be a bitter tool that will remove them from the job, unfortunately. So it's more about adding of value, being resilient, taking more skies to build yourself even more in that area. Thank you so much. So in this section, we'll be rounding quickly. Lola, do you have anything to say on this point before we go to the last topic for the question and answer for this? Do you want to say one thing or two about this point?
I already said everything, but I'll just also emphasize on using AI to plan your learning. I know some people do not know that you can actually do that. You can actually use ChatGPT to plan a course of training, your course of training. For say, you tell ChatGPT, put a prompt of telling ChatGPT or one of these then I tell them, I'm currently in so position and I'm trying to get a job in so position. Can you draft a 6 month learning plan for me, to help that goal in 6 months? And certificate will actually give you a 6 month plan where to get free learnings and all of that, and what to study to get that role. So you can actually trying to be resilient, trying to move with the change. You can use, AI to propel you, like I said earlier. Use it to create a learning plan. Use it to automate your routine. Start learning. Use the AI to teach you how to automate your routine. When you own like I said before, when you own your career, every time that you talk about it, you talk about it as something that you want, like owning a cat. When you have a cat, and they say, tell me about your cat. You will not only know the breed, you not only know the age, you will know what it likes to eat, you know when it fights. So when you own your career, you'll be able to tell a story about it in a way that will convince the interviewer or the recruiter. So you can use AI to build your story, build your story, create a learning plan, create learn ways to automate processes in that new role that you want to get into. Be a preacher of AI. Be a preacher of AI in your organization right now. If you speak to your managers about, so how do we use AI to automate this process? With that, they are saying some traces that, this person is ready for the next big thing. This person is ready to influence the big change that is coming to this role. So those are a couple of few things that I would like to add to that. So don't be amongst the people that think that AI is coming to take your job. It will take your job if you don't prepare. But when you prepare, and like Dr. Nana says, when you have value to add, it's not going to take your job. You'll be the one to use it for your advantage.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Yeah, so the last was from you, Lola, before. What advice will you give to students, recent graduates, and every attendee on this call? in the workplace, in the evolving UK workspace?
Okay, so there's a lot I'm going to use and see. This is my passion. Everybody, I feel like we all need to make it in this life. You know, Africans, even if you're in diaspora or not, as long as you're in the working space and you are passionate enough to have joined a call like this, and you know that there is that hunger for the next level. So I'm going to give you a framework, for a framework that I have recently learned that would help you during your interview, during preparation for your interview, or during preparation for your networking, or talking about what to do, or just preparation to own your career. And that will be it's called the PAST framework. PAST. P is talking about your past experiences and roles. Don't undermine any past experience that you have ever had, or any role that you have had in the course of your career. I started after secondary school. I think that that's one of the skills that I would say that is helping me, develop a bit of confidence to even speak to people today. Your past experiences and your past roles are important, and this framework can actually also help you when you are building your CV. I have worked in recruitment. I'm an HR. I have seen a lot of CVs, and one of the biggest mistakes that job applicants have made, that I have noticed, is that their CV does not tell a story. Your CV has to tell a story. Your CV is the key to open the door before you can even step into that company, before you can even enter into an interview. You need to have an open door. How do you open the door? Your CV. And what is your CV telling the recruiter? What is your CV telling? What is it about your CV that will make somebody in the hiring committee speak on your behalf? So your CV has to tell a story about your past experience, your past roles. You need to also, the age is for abilities and strengths. Know yourself. In owning your career, you need to know your strengths. You need to know your abilities. What are my core strengths? Okay, so I've worked as a teacher, I've worked as an HR, I've worked as a content writer. What is it about me? Is it that I like to speak? Is it that I like to write? Know your abilities and your core strengths. And the S is similarities with your past experiences. So when I worked as a teacher, I worked as a content creator or a content writer, and I'm working as an HR. What is the similarity? What is that skill that I know that I have used? You could start all of these experiences from when you were in university. If you were a part of any association, did you lead a team? Those are the skills that you need to put down. You need to state that. And when you are able to state, or you are able to ascertain the similarities between all of these roles, you will be able to know which one even has to be on your CV to help you with your story. So understand the similarities within your past roles. When you see your strengths, oh, this is what I'm good at. So, okay, when I was in 2001, I was able to do this. Okay, so when I moved to this role in 2014, I used that skill here. So now that I'm looking for a job, it doesn't have to be in my previous role. All the job descriptions always tells you the qualities and the requirements for the new role. So you need to be able to pick, okay, I have communication. Okay, I have leadership. I can use Excel. Even if I have never had that job title, from my previous roles, I can put 2 and 2 and 3 and 4 together and be this person that they are requiring for this job. So in telling your stories, make sure that you carry them along. Carry the skills and the requirements for this job. Make sure that you're able to point it to the similarities in your past experiences. And testimonials are also very important. That's the key part. Testimonials. What do people say about you? What have people said about you? When you were in an association, what did people say about you? They say, oh my God, John, you are a very fantastic community builder. That is a very important thing that a recruiter needs to know about you. That people have said that you're a community builder, because it will open the next door for you. When you're networking with somebody and you're telling, oh, people have actually said I'm actually a fantastic community builder. And I think that's one of the conversations that Dr. Nana probably had. with the PA, for them to, you have to tell a story. Your life has to tell a story, for them to be able to discuss you in a room where you're not at and decide on your behalf. So your past is actually very important to your future. So please take note of this. Your past experience and roles, your abilities and strengths, your similarities,
Similarities.
past roles, and testimonials that have been told about you. This is the story that will propel you to your next role. And one last thing, this is not the last, but I'll just tell this, is when you get into that interview, when your CV that is telling a story, I think a recruiter will spend less than 2 minutes on your CV. And this is not to scare anyone. They will spend less than 2 minutes on your CV. Why? Because there's like 50 other people that have been submitted or that have been looked up by the AI. Their CVs are come. So I will not spend more than 2 minutes. If your CV is not interesting, it's not telling me what I need to know, I will move on to the next candidate that has a better story to tell, that is giving me figures, that is giving me results, impact that they have made on their role. Do you understand? And so when you have told a beautiful story with your CV, using the technique that I have given you, and you get an open door, and you put your first feet in your interview, try to use the STAR method for your interview responses. I feel like a lot of us have heard about the STAR method. It's the situation, the task, the action, and the result. And I hope you know what it means. If you don't know what it means, I will just say it like in the basic way. But please go and check and read more about responding in the STAR method. And if you don't know, if you are confused, maybe you're trying to transition into a new role, or you're just leaving the university and trying to get into jobs, and you don't know any typical question that any typical response that you can give. Thanks to AI, when you ask AI, give me a STAR response for, or give me a typical interview question for so role that I'm interviewing for, and give me a STAR response to this. It will give you a typical response that you could give. Then you can now put in your experience in it. So you're asking you, tell me about a time that you led a team. What was the situation? That's the S. What was the situation before or what was the situation that made you lead the team? Okay, my team was the team lead had just left the organization, and we were left without a team, and then I was asked to manage the team as the acting lead. And so what was the task? What was the task required of you? This is how you will tell your story. You have to tell them the task that was required of you during your acting period as the team lead. And usually around problems. I'm just giving you the basic overview of what the STAR method is. Then action. What are the things that you did that helps you, manage your team in the best way possible to bring the results? So you tell them all the things that you do, all the actions that you put in place to make sure that you achieve, a good result. And what was the result? Then the result to be, my teammates recommended that, or the manager of the department recommended that I led the team going forward because of the improvements within the team, the communication, and the teamwork that I have been able to build through the action. So this is how you respond. You have to tell them how you were in a situation and how you solved it. This will impress the recruiter and help them, understand that, this person is fantastic. This person knows what they're doing. So when you use your past to create your resume and you tell a story, you get the door open. When you get in the door and you are given an opportunity to interview, use your STAR method for response. They don't have to tell you that, the recruiter does not tell you, please will be interviewing you, make sure that you use your STAR method. They don't have to tell you. Just make sure that you follow that technique because it helps them follow through with the experience. So that being said, I want you to know that you're not sorry.
I know.
Job market is rubbish at the moment. People are there are thousands of people fighting for the same role. So just keep being resilient, keep going. Don't stop. just keep applying for the jobs and keep trying to be better. Keep trying to get your voice heard, try to be seen, and try to be credible on your role. So yeah, those are the very few things that I have to say.
Yeah. Thank you so much. And just to summarize, to get to the job, you have to use the past method. That's hold on a second. Hey, I've forgotten. No. That's why we have you. Your past experiences, then your abilities and your strengths, or your core strengths, then the similarities to the present role, what you could get from that, and then now the testimonials from others. Then when you have entered the door, you now use the star. But I got to know that there's an upgrade to the star method that is now star with double R, that there is now what some of them request. I also learned it through a meeting that they call it reflection. What have you reflected over time? That they also want to see that's what is coming up even amongst that. All right. Thank you so much for that, Dr. Nana. Just in few seconds, your time starts now because I know you are passionate, but in few seconds, few minutes, I just tell what is your advice to students, attendees, and the rest?
Yeah, thank you very much. I think Lola has done, Lola has brilliantly summed it up. So I'm just going to add on. So for myself, I would say please be very open, right? Keep your options open. Look, as I mentioned, my background was accounting and finance, right? And me getting into what I'm doing now had nothing to do with accounting and finance, but it was through a networking opportunity. Then that's how I realized that there are, I've got the soft skills that can easily be harnessed in this role, and that's how I ended up here. And oftentimes, we can be so fixated on a particular role, right? You can be so fixated on a particular field or space you find yourself that you easily can miss out on the opportunities out there. So please keep your options open, network, be intentional about your networking opportunities, ask questions, right? And as well, please improve upon your soft skills, your soft IT skills, your soft IT skills, basics. Like every one of us here should be very much abreast with basic Microsoft skills. I mean, your Word, your Excel, your PowerPoint, because you need it. You need it in any, unless you don't aspire to get into a managerial role. But for the managerial role, you're going to need your Word, your Excel, your PowerPoint, and you need to be top with it. Your presentation must be top. Your Excel, when you're presenting a report, when you're doing your mathematics and all of that, must really be top. So, this should be my additions to what Lola has.
Thank you so much for being brief.
Sure.
Thank you so much, about all those things, and everyone have spoken well. This is time for question, and because of the passion of Lola, she has stolen part of the time for the question. But yeah, there are some questions there, so this is time for, if you can unmute yourself, you could, or if not, you could drop it. So some of the questions there. Someone said, okay, how do I land a job for both of you, whichever one wants to go? But I think it's more HR. But you are both HR. One is just HR for work, the other is HR for students. You are both HR. How do I land a banking job with so many years of banking? I'm studying global strategy and sustainability at University of Edinburgh. So do you want to jump on that, Lola?
So that was Joshua. Hi, Joshua. So in Edinburgh, I had time to land a job in banking. And I would, just like Dr. Nana had said, be open to new roles. But yes, you can get a job in banking in Edinburgh. And it seems like you're still studying. So now is the time to start filling out your application. You need to decide, do you want to be investment banking, you need to know which banking you want to get into. While I was studying my master's degree, I had a friends that actually got into the Bank of America, while just as we're about to end the program. So yes, if you start sending out your applications now, you can get it. One particular thing that I realized was they got certifications too. Have you tried to get certifications? UK certifications, or do you have prior certifications that you think would, put you up there? Because you're obviously not going to be the only one applying for this job. And something I've realized about this the UK, especially in the banking sector, is somehow the experience matters. I will not say experience does not matter, but then I think that for accounting and banking, they sort of look at the certifications from experience from people that I have mentored or people that I've had to help get a job. So you need to decide. And again, you are studying something that is totally off, what you currently have an experience in. So yes, start sending out the application. Start sending out the application for a. And the funny thing about my UK is be open, be open to graduate roles. Be open to graduate roles. Ready to get just everything to get you in that job. Don't expect that because you have 10 years experience in banking, you'll get a senior role as you enter. But do not rule out the fact. Apply to banking roles, know the tools that are currently used in the UK banking sector, get a certification, and start sending out your applications now. And be resilient about it. Don't give up. A lot of us have had thousands, and I'm not even kidding you. We've had thousands of rejections, unfortunately. So don't let 20 or 30, unfortunately, make you feel like you have to continue to do same job or continue to do support work. I'm not trivializing or looking down on this. I'm just saying that you have to keep pushing for what your ambition is, what you want to do. So get a certification, keep sending that application, be open-minded to even be a graduate role. And then when you get in that door, you can prove yourself to a senior role. And also be open to sustainability roles too, because I know that some of these banks, they also want to, give sustainability reports and all of these things. So please be open. Don't just apply to banking roles. Apply to, sustainability or climate roles within banks too, if that's where your passion lies. I hope that answers your question, or that sort of gives you some enlightenment.
Thank you so much for that. And just to add a brief, is you also look within the school and not the career side, the community, the department, what are the opportunities? And most times there are also opportunities for internships, whichever, like you said, as just to get you there. Sometimes some people get in through some of these graduate internship roles. Once you are there, it's a bit easier to continue from there. You could apply, but as long as you are there, just look for ways to get into it, and that's just my own. And lastly, okay, you want to say something? Okay, wait.
Just like John said, in your university, there are bodies that are responsible for careers, and you can walk into their office, you can send an email to them. And also another thing that I found very was lecturers. How close are you to your lecturers? They know people. They know people. They can recommend you to jobs. You need to harness that communication skill and use it. Attend events also. Some of these banks, the Satanda and the HSBC, they always host events. They host events a lot. How many of their events have you attended? Or are you planning to attend in 2025? And it doesn't even have to be bank event. It could be any corporate event, corporate social event. Somebody that is there might know a role that is open that they can actually recommend you to. So attend events. I'm really, I'm sorry, I'm really emphasizing on investing in yourself in 2025. I did my own piece in 2024. I spent a lot of money attending events, taking training, because you can never be good enough. You can never be enough. So yes, so you can be enough, or please don't quote that wrongly. You can be enough, but you have to keep trying to be better. You have to. That's once you feel like you're at your best, it's time to die. So let's keep trying to be better. So yeah.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. And I just wanted to say that before you end, because if we say there's always that room for more improvement, but the more you start giving up, the more you start uh, reducing what you are able to do. And lastly, uh, Rookie asks that, do you do CV review?
That's for me.
Yeah, that question was for you. Do you do CV review? Can you help people to review CV, or can you help her to? Because she asked it directly to you.
Not, I can, and I would love to.
You would love to, but you went quiet.
But there's a chance. So so to be honest, there's too many things on my plate, and it's just very time consuming. But I'm happy to, if you follow me on my Instagram page, young underscore and corporate, young underscore and underscore corporate. I think I also put up a video on how you can use AI to generate your CV and review. But if you send me a message on chat, we can discuss how we can improve your CV and review it together, and we find. But do I do that professionally or as a side gig? No, I don't have the time. I'm so sorry. But I
So can you also help me to review my own CV?
also
All right, thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for that. And just to borrow 30 seconds to 1 minute of my time, which you have used enough. She wants to tell about an event she's organizing for women in the aspect of International Women's Day. We are wishing all the ladies on the call and all the happy International Women's Day. So over to you quickly.
just take a second. If you're in Coventry or Birmingham or anywhere around Birmingham, there's an event coming up. It's called Skip and Play. This are usually organized every year, and it has been very impactful. This I can tell this from testimonials that I've gotten. We have six power-packed speakers. We are focusing on our community, professional growth, and business, entrepreneurs. We want to, also help boost businesses. And there'll be like a business exhibition also happening on that day. You can find the tickets on Eventbrite. Just search for Six and Play Birmingham, and then you see, get more information about the event. I really look forward to seeing a lot of people.
Yes, thank you so much, Bibi, for that. I guess from the comment section, was it an enlightening or an educative session? What do you have to say about it? Let's see in the comment section while we continue with that. So, what are the summaries of uh, what do we have to say? Okay, first and foremost, be resilient, be flexible. We need to be flexible. We need to keep owning and improving our skills. Networking is nothing. There's difference between networking and just having contacts. How are we building that relationship and engaging constructively when we come in those areas? What else do we need to do? We need to keep improving. Use the past and the STAR method. The past method in improving and working on your skills, and you also need to start also when you have gotten to the door, even to express yourself further to the interviewers. And so many of those things we need to use the power of technology, AI, and the rest to our benefits, not as a tool that we will be afraid of, but something that we need to use to our benefits to support our thing. Value, we need to keep adding value. We should never get to that point where we are saying that enough is enough. Those are part of it. So let's also drop on that to see what we have to talk about. Someone is already saying that ready to adapt, working on your CV, being current with new technologies like AI. Thank you so much for sharing. Let's drop even in the comment section about that. What are the calls to action. What do we need to do? We need to stay resilient. We need to join a community. We need to use the supports around the communities that are around, and be proactive. We shouldn't just expect that we'll be indoors and they will bring the opportunities. We need to strive out, attend events, networking, open up. Don't keep quiet. There's this saying that a closed mouth, if you don't talk, people will not know what you are going through. Thank you so much. And thank you everyone for joining. Thank you to BYP Network, that is Ayo, for the support. Thank you to the panelists, Dr. Nana. Thank you to Lola for granting us out of those words. We know this time is limited, but even with this time, you have done so much. Thank you to Barbara and to all the attendees, to Ruki, Agnes, CKC, and I hope it was worth your session. Thank you everyone for joining, and looking forward to more events with all of you and seeing us at the top where we are all resilient and making things happen.